come with me and see how a Slovakian makes an patriotic USA kind of ornament. So firstly, I choose this plastic medallion and I painted it twice with white paint. Let it dry between each layer, of course. And after that was done, I have this custom rice paper with this cute old little lady in the colors of USA flag printed out. So I took my water pen and I cut it out of the rest of the rice paper. Of course, I never use scissors, as I am always saying I don't like to use scissors for this. Then I tear up the rice paper in few places for better placement, of course, on the ornament. Then I applied little bit of decoupage glue onto the ornament itself, and then with more decoupage glue I glued it on the ornament. And as well, and again, please, no excess of the glue because that will dry out white, not clear. On the other side of the ornament, I decided I'm gonna use napkin. So I made a circle, take it out with, again, with water pen. Then I am tearing it up in few places, little bit, just a little bit onto the ornament itself, so I can better place my napkin. And then with good amount of decoupage glue I glued it all the way around the ornament. And again, sorry you hear my dog barking, but that's usual. No matter when I'm doing this, he barks. So then I let the whole thing dry, of course, and then it was time to blend and paint. And for this I am using acrylic paints, and I am going inside the rice paper itself for better blending, of course, as you can see here. So you can always go inside your rice paper and make sure your images are nice and good looking, I would say. And if you like this kind of videos, please do subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, please do give me a nice comment or a thumbs up. Tell me what's your favorite patriotic kind of decor. I would like to know, and then tell me how I did with this ornament. But please watch till the end so you can see it, of course, finish. So you can see I am trying and having fun with blending, and here I decided to paint a little bit more. Just it was an inspiration what the nice little granny has in her basket. So I was thinking like, yeah, put some of it there as well because it is not difficult to paint. So I decided to do that as well. And then of course I let everything dry, and after it was dry I used my classic trusted glitter decoupage glue, and I applied it on both sides of my ornament, of course. And again I let it dry, and then it was time to seal it. I use, as usual, pouring glaze. Of course you can use varnish as well, and I applied up to 4 layers of this, let it dry between each layer for a nice shiny look. And of course I applied it on both sides of my ornament. And then when it was dry, it was time to decorate it a little bit more. And for this I am use some a mold, air drying clay and express glue from Pentard. So on the sides of my ornament I applied this kind of design, and then I had this star cookie cutter, I would say. Yeah, it's a cookie cutter, and I used it to add some stars because it kind of, reminded me of 4th of July and such. So I glued some stars on the ornament as well, and then before I painted it all, I let my clay, of course, dry so I don't ruin the design. And now it is dry and I just painted it with brown paint, and I took off any excess of the paint with wet towel for really nice rustic look. And then I applied the ivory, or was it beige, I am not sure right now, paint as well for a nice look, completed look of my ornament. And then I let it all dry, and after that I sealed the clay part with matte varnish. Of course you can use glossy one, but I like to use this kind of varnish for my clay. And then again I let the whole thing dry. So I let it dry, of course. And I must tell you, I did this ornament last year and I just came around now to post it. It's 2025 and I did it in 2024, but posting is posting, right? So, and then for a nice finishing look I use wax paste, a golden one, and I applied it on the clay part of my ornament. And as you can see, sometimes I do use gloves, sometimes I am too lazy, I am not using gloves, but then my fingers of course gets dirty. But that's my manicure. I always says my manicure is acrylic paint, glue and wax paste. And as you can see here, it is all finished. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comments and watch out for another tutorial which comes soon. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.